Hi there, welcome back. Today, I want to share about one of my students and who I have been working with over 1 year now, and also want to share my personal experience with my own body, my own journey. And this is really important, and I really like you to listen, and if you're willing to. So he found me on YouTube, and just like you now, and he's in his 30s. He used to be very active, didn't have any pain, no problems. He was able to go to the gym, exercises, and or hiking, no problem. But over the past 3 years, and over the years, and he lost his ability to move easily and move freely. And in fact, in the last 3 years, and he hadn't been able to leave his home. So he's lost independence. He lost the freedom. So in the past several years, and he's been trying so hard and to find what is the problem. And he saw a number of doctors, therapists, and trainers, done a lot of testing and read a lot of books, did a lot of research, probably like you. And yet, he still found himself in the same place, not really much in a better shape. He's in a pain. He has a lot of fear around movements, around his body. So even just the small movements and the gentle movements might trigger pain. And if you feel a lot of pain sometimes, and he's very fearful of just moving his body, even just a tiny bit. So that is a very common, and unfortunately, so over the years, and after having seen so many people, professionals, and he was given a number of different explanations for his symptoms. So he's given a lot of labels, right? Medical terminology, diagnosis, which he has been carrying all these years. And understandably, it's very, very threatening and scary, and to think that to have so many problems every time you talk to the doctors, and the doctor say, "Ooh, I'm not sure what's causing it. You might have this, so you might need to check that, or you might need to try that." And you try that, and it doesn't help. Then, or you go see somebody else, and then another person will say, "I think you have this." So you continue and go through these cycles, and then you end up with a number of problems, right? And number of more labels that you associate with. And that's really, really, that's really not helpful. It really makes the nervous system, if you think about it from a perspective of the nervous system becomes quite protective and becomes very threatened. What you hear, it really influences your nervous system. So if you continue to hear that every time you go see somebody, professionals, experts, and then you come back with more or new problems, and so it's not. I don't know why this has become quite common, and we accept it as the norm. And so what I'm talking about is, we assume there is always, for symptoms, there has to be structural issues, structural causes, and that's how we are taught, right? So we look for things that are broken, that's supposedly causing your symptoms. If you can identify the structural cause and fix that, then your symptoms should be fixed. And that's how we were taught, right? Very much is symptom driven. Well, what if your structures are fine, your bodies are just fine, well, despite x-rays, MRIs, which might show some wear and tears, which is normal, but then you have a lot of pain that doesn't explain. Or maybe the tight muscles, maybe a tight fascia, or maybe the joint or your structure is out of alignment. Maybe. But there's more to that, right? Believe it or not, our bodies are a lot more robust than you might think. And look at babies, look at animals, right? We may think, oh, I'm not that young anymore. But really, our bodies are really designed to move. To move a body, to twist the body, to move, bend down, to move and use our bodies in a day-to-day activities is quite okay. You don't break something just by gently moving your body. And of course, you can do a lot and you can physically damage your body, but most of the times that's really not what happens. It's the nervous system that is continuing to perceive your body as a threat, or your condition as a threat and danger. So it is responding in such a way as if there is an ongoing danger, right, in your body. So the problem with symptom-driven and looking for structural, assuming the structural issues causing the pain and symptoms, then you are trying to fix that. I mean, the problem is that you're adding more threat to your nervous system. You hear what is wrong with your body by doctors and by therapists. How does that make you feel? You probably feel quite scared to hear that. Oh, I didn't know I had this problem. Maybe for the first time you hear that, okay, that's fine. But imagine that being told by multiple people, they say, no, you have this problem, you have that problem. No, this is a problem. This needs to be corrected. This needs to be fixed. I don't know how many times the people told me, oh, my body's a mess. My body's a mess. My body is out of alignment, out of whack. My body is broken. But something like that I hear all the time. It really makes me feel very, very frustrated because, well, I've been there. I used to work in an outpatient physical therapy clinic for 10 years and inpatient after that, home health and all that. But this idea that looking at the body like a machine and then conveying that message to people, it is, that has become the norm. And we don't even question. We think that's okay. That's normal. And I feel guilty because I've done that to my patients, clients, my students in the past, to myself. So I've done that to myself, to my body, and thinking, well, that's how it works. That should fix it. I have a problem. I should fix that. Except what that fix didn't really make a change. at the best, and maybe a little bit for a short time. That's it. But then I had to keep looking for a new technique that I can apply to my body. And that didn't really seem right. So with the one of the students I was talking about, when he first started, well, that's where he was. And so as he started working with me in gentle movements, and he had pain, maybe intense pain, and for several days afterwards. And of course, he freaked out. Said, immediately emailed me, said, "Oh, I'm experiencing this and this and this. Maybe I broke something. Maybe I tore something. What should I do?" And very hard to hear that. And so I asked him, "So what did you do?" And he told me what he did. It's a very small movements. It's really hard to imagine that such a small movements could do such a damage to the body. And I can only say that based upon what I know about those specific movements, it's quite unlikely that really created any damage or it caused any damage to the body. So I really assured him that what you did is absolutely fine, okay? But I'm not saying that the pain is not real. The pain is real. But I wanted to assure him that here's what is happening. You're experiencing a pain right now, not because you tore your muscles or you broke your bones. You're experiencing so much pain right now because your nervous system responded in that way and perceive what you did, your movements, as quite dangerous. So they had to respond in such a way, and therefore you're experiencing that. And that's really pain, tension, all the body symptoms are a reflection of what is happening in the nervous system. So I said, "No, it's okay. I understand that you feel a pain. But I want to make sure, I want you to know that you didn't break anything, you didn't tear anything." So he gave it a few days and just rested, and then told me that, okay, so everything went away, that's fine. But it's so difficult, and for him to shift out of his mindset that his body is broken, he has problems, he moved wrong, he breaks something, he damages his body. That's his mindset that has been really shaped by all his experience, what he has been told, and in the past. But over time, I wanted to invite him and to shift into more curiosity-driven exploration, connecting with the body and gently moving the body and sensing the body, and then beginning to really understand what the body is doing. And tension that he's holding on to, his body has, not allowing him to move. Why the tension exists? Because of the brain perceiving the body or the condition as a threat. So it is creating tension, holding in the body, not letting him move, which he perceived as stiffness, tightness. So he wanted to release that, but it worked against him. Of course, nervous system continues to insist that there is a threat. He wanted to protect. So it took a long time for him to really learn to less and to do less and to slow down and to listen and to feel what is happening. And as he allowed himself to slow down, and so that the nervous system starts to feel safe again, and he starts to move more freely, his body starts to open, which he felt the difference, right? Which is a really, really good thing. And then the pain disappeared, right? As he gained more mobility, more freedom in his body, which didn't come from pushing harder, which didn't come from stretching, more aggressively, anything like that. It came from, it resulted from doing less, slowing down, and listening more, and being more open, and being more curious, and being more playful. That's a really hard shift for people. But then he gained more and more freedom in his body. And he became more curious about moving. He became less afraid of moving his body. Even he experienced pain, tension coming back, but he didn't perceive that as, oh my God, I broke something. No, I know that I'm okay. My body's okay. I didn't do anything bad to my body, but I do feel pain, but I'm okay. Let it pass. Pain, tension, and go away. And then he continues to move. So time to time he still goes back and looking for symptoms, and so go back to the symptom-driven way of thinking. But a lot of times that he shifted away from that, and he is much more curious, and curiosity-driven learning, curiosity-driven exploration of the movements, which is a huge shift. Again, it didn't happen in 1 week or 1 month. It happened gradually over time. But he's made so much more progress. He became much happier. He's became much freer in his body. So he's regaining freedom and to move. And that's what really the freedom is all about. I can see it changes happening from the inside out. His facial expression, body expression, very different. And I didn't give him, or I didn't diagnose his problems. I didn't tell him what exactly his problem is or how to fix his problems. I guided his attention into the body and then guided him through gentle movements so that he gets to explore his body slowly, one by one. And so he became more and more aware of his patterns that is holding him back. I'm taking the time to talk this, and I'm not very organized in this talk right now, but this is so important, and this means a lot, and this is my own life journey and my own frustration, and over the years, and I like I said, I came from conventional therapy background. I used to think that way too, but I started to feeling quite frustrated, and I started questioning, is that how it's supposed to be? Like, does it have to be this way? Then I started feeling there must be another way. Our body is meant to be moving. What is the difference? Why can some people move well? I'm not talking about just a physical movement, but just move through life quite smoothly. And of course, life is such that there's good days and bad days. Life happens. But still, some people are able to navigate through their life, right? Emotionally and then physically. Something happens, then they are able to bounce back, adapt into the changes, while others are not able to do that. We have the ability to adapt, and we have the ability to bounce back quite well as a child, as a baby. But yet, as we grow and we started to lose that resilience and way to learn from the inside, organic learning, like how babies do, how animals do. We all did that. But it's really rare for adults to do that and still. In fact, and that's really the problem. We lost, many of us have lost the ability to learn from the inside, organic way of learning, as we did as a child. So what I think is really, really the missing piece is this very fundamental way of learning and improving and growing. Um, when it comes to physical pain, stress, life struggle, it's not about stretching. It's not about finding the right exercises or the techniques. We have to recognize, or we have to realize that all parts are interconnected. Our mind, our body, our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs, and physical body experience, they're all one interconnected whole. We must realize that. Even if you're not aware of that, but that is how it works, how we function. But because we understand in such a compartmentalized way body issues as a physical body issues, or mind issues, or psych issues. Okay. But is that all? Why is that when people are stressed and they have more tension in their body? When they are stressed and they tend to have more pain? Why is it that when people are on vacation, they tend to have less stress, less pain, and less tension in their bodies? We all know that there is that connection, right? But we don't really work with ourselves as such, but we work with ourselves in a very disconnected way. And that's exactly the problem, I think. It took me a long time to realize that. But once I started to understand that through this work and somatic work, working through experiencing what is happening myself and through my own body, and then the connections between all those parts became more and more clear. So if you continue to chase your symptoms and external fixes and wondering why your symptoms keep coming back, and perhaps in your thinking, if you just consistently do exercises regularly, then you'll be fine. Are you fine? So you really need to go deeper and really starting to observe yourself and begin to work with yourself more holistically, or whole, as a whole. anyways, sorry, I'm just very disorganized and rambling. But it's very, very hard for me to see people struggling and see how they are trapped in that compartmentalized, disconnected way of viewing their bodies, viewing themselves. And this is really the part that needs to change. We need to go beyond that. Otherwise, you are trapped and you're repeating the same cycle again and then again and then again. But there is a way that you can really truly connect with your body and truly understand your body from the inside. And this is why I said, whatever you're looking for is actually inside of you, not outside. I don't hold the answer for your body, for your symptoms. You hold the answer already inside of you. I know it sounds very vague, but it is true. And this is why I'm not able to give anyone the answer to your problem. But I can create the conditions and I can guide you through the process of coming back to your home, that is your body, and learning how to listen to your body and learning about yourself, understanding about yourself, all the layers of the habits, habitual patterns that are keeping you from expressing yourself freely through your body. There's a reason why you continue to experience your body in the same way, despite everything that you try. Okay? I know it is hard to stop looking for more, but the more is not the answer that I can tell you. You don't need more. You don't need more information. You don't need more techniques. You don't need more exercises, more modalities. You have everything that you need because you hold the key to unlock your possibilities. Only you can find. I can guide you. And that's what I offer. I'm not here to give you exercises and movement lessons that are going to fix you, that you're going to repeat every day, 3 sets of 15 times. No. That's not the problem. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is I'm going to guide you through the somatic journey of your body. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.